There could be a fifth one.
Which one is that?
The call by Otufo on journalists to make sure that the peace that we are enjoying, because I have issues with some journalists. We should have to tackle, because if it's about journalists, why are you not discussing the topic?
Well, my producers didn't pick that. I don't know whether it's captured by the newspapers, but we'll look at it. Which one?
No, it has been captured because I heard it on one of the radio stations. Anyway, please, don't let me...
No problem at all. So Haja Amdatu Ibrahim is here seated. She is gunning for the biggest position in the CPP.
Sure.
Definitely, she started that, and we pray and we support that. You know, we pray that it goes well. Haja, good morning to you. Good morning. I trust you're well.
Very well.
I've seen Saka here. I don't know when Saka is going to change. Perhaps when he becomes a lawyer and the court gives him 9 a.m., he will be in court at 9 a.m. But before then, he's definitely going to be late, always for my morning show, and I will deal with him when the time comes. I don't know, where is Gabriela Tete?
How about Gabriela?
Hey, this matter.
Anyway, better late than never.
Saka, good morning.
Good morning.
Saka, how are we?
I'm cool.
I trust you are well.
I
miss you.
I miss you too, Chala.
You know me and you and Haja, we have issue, right?
Yeah,
big issue.
Serious one.
Haja, we have a big issue. Yes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Concerning what?
Concerning everything.
Yeah.
Things you can't say on there.
Yeah.
Oh, you can say it.
No, who says it?
Since I'm gunning to lead the Convention People's Party, you should say it so that I'll address it. You understand?
We are all in a compromising situation.
Yeah.
If I say it, if Saka says it, matter. This one is personal.
Yeah.
It's not about. It's not politics.
It's true.
It's a personal matter.
Really?
Personal issue.
It's true.
Well, am I chopping without money you or something?
I have not said it. I have not said anything. Saka, did you say anything?
No, I didn't.
That's the only thing that maybe you'll not be happy with.
But she doesn't chop alone. That one there, we know she doesn't chop alone.
I'm yet to see it.
Just that.
Yes.
Just that we are yet to see it.
I'm yet to see it.
So the issue is that you say appointment and then you will disappoint.
No, I don't disappoint.
You understand? You have to follow up.
I have never
if I book
disappointed.
an appointment, I follow up.
Yeah.
So if you are booking an appointment with an aspiring presidential aspirant of the Convention People's Party, you have to follow up.
Yeah.
Haja,
Yes, my dear.
when I put the appointment, you and I know that I follow up.
No, this
It's
one,
just that
the Thursday one, I didn't follow up.
No, you were supposed to get back to me
No, yeah.
because you were uncertain.
You are discussing everything now.
No,
we are not mentioning names.
The issue is that because people are calling me appointment here, granting it. I'm so busy.
She's busy.
You see, so you have to prompt me. Now I'm not just for.
She's no longer ordinary.
Then when I become your PRO.
But no, you said the PRO. The PRO, I move with every step. I'm with you. So therefore,
no, but we need to start before.
Okay, I think after this program,
we have to see the deal.
We'll strategize.
Anyway, so welcome all of you. Welcome. Mali strongly condemns Ecowas sanctions, closed land borders. Yesterday, I'm very much aware that there were some sanctions placed. In fact, there was a meeting held in Accra to decide on the future of Mali. Primarily because it appears that the transitional team decided not to adhere strictly to the recommendations made by ECOWAS relative to the elections to be held in February 2022. And the transitional team, the military transitional team, indicated to ECOWAS that they wanted to hold the elections in 2026. Now ECOWAS has indicated that is not what the agreement stipulated. So clearly, 4 years, 6. Yeah. So they want to be there for 4 years before they can start the process. They have elected themselves. So clearly, ECOWAS was unhappy, and it indicated that from yesterday, they were going to place sanctions, which indeed they have placed sanctions on Mali. Now, as part of the sanctions, for essentials, like COVID-19 vaccines and medical supplies and things like that, they are going to continue to supply Mali with those ones. But when it comes to trade, interterritorial trade and all of those things, they are not going to encourage that. In fact, they've closed their borders and they're going to make sure that no West African country trades with Mali. That's what it is now. Now, Mali is saying that the transitional team is saying that they are unhappy about that decision. They vehemently condemned it. Let's see how it pans out. We're going to be having a conversation on that. Also, 7% salary increment, public workers disappointed. Yesterday as well, this issue came up about public sector workers and how they are disgruntled by reason of the increment in their salary, which is just about 7%. Now, their disagreement or their disagreement flows from the fact that if you look at all the other sectors of the economy, it appears that everything is on a rise. So, for instance, transport fares will be increased by 40%, etc., etc. So they are saying that this 7% cannot address, the current quagmire that we are dealing with as a nation. So something ought to happen. Something better ought to happen for them. We will touch on that issue as the students plead with government to address UTAC concerns. Yesterday, we spoke with the UPSA General Secretary of the of UTAC, the UPSA branch, the General Secretary of UTAC, where he indicated that the students were in full support of their strike action. Now, it appears that the student body has indicated to government that government ought to address the plight of UTAC. Let's see how that pans out. Yesterday, I jokingly said, well, the students themselves, some of them don't want to go to school, so, but that was just a joke. But clearly, it appears that we need to immediately address these concerns. MPP Youth Group, some MPP Youth Group descends on Baumia, says VIP, a stranger in the party. We don't know whether the VIP is a stranger or it's not a stranger, and who is actually a stranger in a political party. I think these are the issues that we're going to be dealing with here on the show. Saka is here seated, Hajia is here seated. Let me quickly start with Hajia on the Mali issue, please.
Yes, good morning to Saka and our cherished viewers out there. You saw some smile on my face when I entered. I told you I was in Kumasi.
Yes, you were.
We went to celebrate a good something. Our niece got married. And then it was anchored by my own cousin, Hajia Sarah.
Yeah,
we call her Hajia. We call her Hajia Sarah. And then Hajia Fati, a.k.a. Bolaji One. Hajia Sayakulu. Hajia Mamata. And then the one who played the song for us to dance is called Conchitanko. Conchitanko was playing when we were even babies. And if you see him in his jeans that day singing Nkrumah, did you see Nkrumah Showboy? Yeah. When they just saw me. So you see that everywhere I go, CPP follows me. You see. So good morning to you, Hajia Sarah and Hajia Fati and Hajia Mamata and Hajia Sayakulu Antaro and then my own grandmother, Hajia Fusi. You see, this Mali issue, I'm surprised they are angry, condemning what Ecowas did. When you were mentioning some essentials like COVID-19 vaccines, and this, I thought maybe they were going to say even that they were not going to give them Malian people. I was going to say, no, this one there it was. Until you continue the conversation and I realized that this is what's, I always say to people that the worst form of democracy, or should I say democratic rule, is better than military rule. Because military juntas will condemn civilians, will condemn people that, they are doing this, they are doing that, and then they come to take over. You sat down to agree, I think it was Goodluck Jonathan who was leading that mission. You agreed on a timetable that February this year, there was going to be an election. So what you are doing is like a transitional kind of thing. Only for Ecowas to sleep and wake up in the morning. He said, no, you are not ready by 2026, which means they have elected themselves. You see, if they just test power small, this military, they are worse. They want to be there.
Yep.
Can they tell us why they cannot hold the election 2022? There was no any proper reason given. They just sat down to say that because they are enjoying the paparazzi, all the privileges that comes with leadership in governance. Let me put it that way. They are not ready to hand over. They are not ready for any election. Not even 6 months. So they said maybe the February is a bit close, so maybe June or July. but they're talking about 2026. You are occupying those seats illegally because nobody elected you. So how can you tell the good people of Mali that you are going to be there till 2026? So it's better you even say that you are going to continue. You're not going to listen, or you are going to not going to adhere to the laid down procedure, the agreement that you sat with the leadership of Ecowas to agree on what you are going to do in February. February is just around the corner. So they said, they are thinking, hey, February, so you're going to leave all those, the ping-pong is going off, everything. So I think Ecowas took a right decision by imposing those sanctions. And the borders that are closed should be tightened in such a way that nobody, not even a mosquito, can pass through. Because it's hard time we call a spade, and call the bluff of military juntas on the continent of Africa who don't want us to have peace. If you want to also rule, you can remove your civilian dress and then join the queue. If you want to contest, you can contest. But you cannot come and take over. We don't know the people who overthrew the transitional team. You see, so they even distracted the transitional process in the country. And how dare them to come and tell the good people of Africa, or for that matter, the sub-region, Ecowas, that we are not ready until 2026. If there's anything that can be done to get rid of this military junta, I think the Ecowas should do it. Because look at what is happening. Mali is not a stable country.
It's not.
Because of the Teranga water view, the bandits, the
Islamists.
You see, those people who are disturbing, then they will use regime. Meanwhile, some of them cannot recite the first chapter of the Holy Quran. Me, I always say it. They should not be tarnishing the image of our precious religion. Islam means peace. So I think, Kwame, what ECOWAS did is right. They shouldn't just allow them anywhere. They should even call on African Union too. Should also follow suit. UN, they can't go anywhere. Because this UN and then the Western powers, you see that an illegality is being done in one region. They will support it. And then one region, because maybe they cannot penetrate, they will not support. So I think it should be all out. All international engagement with Mali should cease so that they will feel the pinch. They cannot travel to anywhere. Burkina Faso, you can't come. As for Ghana, they ho-ho, because our airport will not continue. We will make sure the plane will be there and then your fuel will short. We'll even refuel for you to go. So for me, I think the sanction is in order. We don't want any problems that we have refugees coming into our country and sort of distracting the peace of the sub-region.
Right.
So for me, I think ECOWAS did the right thing. And then let's see what... They just condemn what ECOWAS did. Let's see what they will say again. Maybe will they back off from their 2026 and say that, oh, okay, maybe February, June, we will hand over.
Okay. Okay. Well,
or there will be an election to elect a properly elected president for Mali.
All right. Saga.
Yeah, come on.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me also take this opportunity to say good morning to you and to Hajia, the incoming flag bearer of the CPP. And then the president of Ghana and his Igbo vice president, and all members of the MPP fraternity.
You greet Mama.
Oh, I'm greeting him too. Yeah, I'm greeting former President John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, Kwame. I think that ECOWAS is just waking up from their slumber, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy that they are clamping down on illegal takeovers that used to characterize the ECOWAS sub-region.
Absolutely.
I mean, it started with Ghana. You remember, we started gaining independence and we started coup d'etats. And then Nigeria took over.
I like the way you said it.
And almost invariably.
We led the way. Eh?
Yeah, we led the way. We led the way, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, and then it continued. It's, you know, it ebbed into almost all the African countries. And it became, as in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it became part and parcel of governance. Just as death is part of life, coup d'etat used to be part of governance. But I think that lately, and with the advent of modernity and knowledge, we have all come to the irresistible conclusion that it is not about violent takeover that will propel us to where we want to go. It's about the structures that we put, the constitution that has been promulgated by all. And we all said that this is what we have functioned for ourselves. We will follow this to the letter. If things are not going well, these are the remedies. These are the ways and means that we will use to ensure that we right the wrong. But it seemed to me that there are certain people, certain group of people that felt that when we go and do a referendum and choose to obey our constitution, as for them, they don't care about the constitution. They will do whatever they want. If they feel or if they want to express their disquiet in anything, the best way is to remove the government by force. And I think the laws are clear on that. When you do that, it is high treason, and which is punishable by death. Unfortunately, Kwame, you are busily taking pictures. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, Kwame, even the laws of the various countries, including Ghana, is not biting enough, or are not biting enough. Because we have a situation where anytime there's a coup and then the coup is successful, it means that, I mean, those people will not face the law. But if the coup becomes unsuccessful, then those people face the law. Yeah. That is what is giving rise to all manner of coups these days. Look at Mali. Within a space of 9 months, 2 coups. Guinea and all those places, Guinea-Bissau, all manner of coups all over. And now Ecowas decided that enough is enough. Let's clamp down on these things. But just mere sanctions alone, to me, I mean, will not help us. Even though it might be, you know, some part of the solution. But I think that drastic measures have to be taken. Serious drastic measures. Like, we should have a standing army. When there's a coup, there should be a counter removal of whoever, you know, succeeded in the coup. Right. If we used to have Ecomog, I remember Ecomog went to Liberia and other places and all that. I don't know what has become of that standing army. But if you should have a standing army, if there's a coup in anywhere, the standing army goes there straight away and remove that person from office. If we're doing that, I don't think that we'll be seeing all these things that are happening. But you'll be dilly-dallying with them, then they will be giving you conditions. You'll be saying that, within 6 months, handover, or there should be a return to constitutional regime. And then the people will be giving you conditions. You close land borders, then they call your bluff. You place financial sanctions on them, and then they use different means to get money to do whatever they want to do. I mean, I think that there's a problem here. These people should not be people that even heads of states of Ecowas should be sitting down with to negotiate. To negotiate for what? Who put them where they are? These are illegal people sitting down with heads of states of government. So I That is the reason why I told you that drastic measures must always be taken. These people have no any mandate. They have no mandate from the people of Mali. Mali have not voted for them. Where did they get their powers from? They have illegally removed a constitutionally elected president. you get me? And then heads of states will go and sit down with them and then be pleading with them and then drinking with them. And then they will be giving terms and conditions. I mean, it's so appalling. I don't think this thing can happen in the US and other places. And are we also saying that we cannot get a standing army to remove? If we can, we have sister blocks that can help us. The EU is there. The EU is there. We have even the UN. All these people can help us. The UN can establish, UN has an army. We can extend a hand to them by saying that we want to remove illegality. People who assume powers that they do not have, let's remove them from office and all that. All these people will be removed. So me, I don't even think that we should be, dilly-dallying with this illegal, elements.
I totally agree with you. My issue has got to do with how we manage the people of Africa in terms of governance. Because oftentimes it is clear that these coup d'etats come about by reason of civilian leaders' inability to address teething challenges confronting the people. I mean, you actually cited an example of whether this will happen in the US or any other, Western country. But clearly, I'm not saying that they have the best of democracies. I'm not saying that, they have everything in taking care of its citizens or in addressing the fundamental challenges of the people and things like that. But clearly, if you put parity with what is happening in Africa, you cannot say that our leaders have demonstrated some political will, in order that they can address the fundamental challenges of the people. So the point is that, but the point is that all these coup d'etats, if you have carefully monitored how coups come about, they always cite economic, reasons. And then you always also find that the citizens play a pivotal role in that process, and then the military, leaders will then take advantage of that, of that situation, and then they overthrow the government. So why is it that we have not been able to holistically deal with the challenge confronting the African people? I'm saying the African people because all the conditions that are prevailing in these countries which have recently seen coup d'etats are prevailing everywhere else in this, on this continent. So how do we deal with these matters? Perhaps we should first of all look at how we can deal with these matters. You are referring to Ecowas. What significant role has Ecowas played in these countries when the people started complaining about, for instance, leaders changing constitutions in order that they can extend their stay in government? What did ECOWAS do? What did ECOWAS say? At best, ECOWAS is silent on these matters. So when it gets to a point where people say that no, enough is enough, we will throng, the streets of whichever country, and we will see that these leaders are taken out of power, then ECOWAS suddenly finds its voice and steps in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So why is it that we have not been deliberate about dealing with the challenges of the African people? Why?
Yeah, Kwame, thank you very much. I think that when we talk of challenge, every country has a challenge. There's no country that does not have a challenge. And even the US that are cited, I don't think that they don't have problems. They have problems. Somebody can have reason for removing a president of the United States. I don't think that what Donald Trump was doing there, the people of the United States were happy about it. But once you subscribe to democracy, there are laid down rules and regulations. There are channels of removal of president. You understand what I mean? And if you say that for economic reasons, you can always cite reasons for doing whatever that you want to do. Today, I'm sure the opposition have reasons if they want to say that coup is rife today. Just like yesterday, when Dramani Mahama was also in power, we also had reasons. Because look, why was the NDC removed from office? I think that it was because the Ghanaian people were not happy. But they waited till the election and then they spoke through the ballot box. Because that is what we
Because when Mahama didn't try to change the constitution.
No, I'm coming. If somebody, I'm coming. If somebody decides to turn the constitution around, or to subvert the constitution, the solution is not in coup d'etat. The solution is in his removal. What are the laid down rules or channel of removal of such a person? You get what I mean? So if somebody and his friends go into the room or their conference and decide that Charlie, ye papa ne frame because the way you are just within by a group of 2 or 3 people just decide that we will not accept that, and then they will go and they remove the person from office. Then the next day, Ecowas will go and sit with those people and say that, oh, continue to rule for another 6 months, but after that 6 months, let's have election. That to me, I think that is very wrong. We should not entertain that.
You are not addressing my
No, I address your issue. Your issue. Yeah, let me talk about your issue. Your issue is that there are unending issues within the African continent, and those issues, they seem not to be end in sight.
Absolutely.
And we don't even know how people are not preferring solutions to those issues.
Absolutely.
So there's those problems continue in perpetuity, and that is the reason why some of these things come. Is that not your question?
Yes, that's one aspect, and also you've spoken about the subversion of the constitution.
Yes.
You know, but if, like for instance, somebody successfully does that.
Yes.
Okay. So for instance, let's use Paul Biya of Cameroon as an example. Ajia, you know what's happening there. Paul Biya has changed the constitution many times. In fact, even Togo. Okay. But the people have not been able to do anything about it. And what they can actually do is just wait. My point is that when the constitution is clear about something, so for instance in Ghana, every 4 years we go to the polls to elect a new leader. Then another Dankwa comes and says, I'm just using that as a Another Dankwa comes and says that, as for me, after my 8 years, I'm changing the constitution to be able to contest again. And then, you know, find a way of winning and then extending the 4 years to, let's say, 8 years.
Yeah.
The people may not be able to do anything because, you know, the constitution would have been changed, and the constitution is the soul and the spirit of any country, right? It would have been changed. Now, in that vein, if the military, if there's agitation, and the military intervenes in restoring that which was already in existence, what have they done wrong? And, you know, whereas ECOWAS has been silent on the matter, so for instance, once the constitution is changed, you should find that ECOWAS would come up and say that, no, we won't allow this to happen. And that let's stick to the constitution. Let's make sure that what the people have actually elected to do is done. But they won't come, they won't talk, they won't do anything about it. Once there's a military intervention, then they find their voices. That is my problem. That is what I want.
I think that you are perfectly right. And this is a serious question that you pose to me, because it's like the people are themselves timid. They do not have what it takes to, you know, restore the grand norm that somebody come to remove using illegal means. And therefore, it has to take somebody with might to restore that which they all subscribe to. I think that sometimes, you have been able to convince me. You have been able to convince me in that regard. But, like I said, we should adhere strictly to the Constitution. When we begin to adhere strictly to the Constitution, I don't even think that a leader would even harbor an idea of ever changing something that has been promulgated by the people, especially when it is an entrenched clause. Those entrenched clauses, that is why in Ghana here, it will be very difficult for anybody to change an entrenched clause, because it has to go through a lot of means. in order to become law. Then somebody just come, a president will come and decides to do whatever that he wants to do. I think in that case, if the people say that no, you did not use the right means, maybe let's take it, for instance, the extension of the term of office. If the president or the party in power did not use the right means to do that extension, it's another way. But if the right means has been used, for instance, they have gone through parliament, they've gotten the number that is needed, and then they have gone through referendum, and they've gotten the number that is needed, and then they've been successful. It has been successfully changed by the will of the people. I don't think that military coup d'etat is a way to go.
Thank you, Sakasalia. Well, if you just joined us, watching the newspaper segment here on Pan-African Television. May I remind you again that we're streaming live on Facebook. Kindly share the feed. Kindly leave your comments underneath the feed. I will try to read the messages here for you. We've just been joined in the studios by Gabriela Tete, the late Gabriela Tete. Not as in late as in dead, but late on the show. And I'm not friends with her anymore. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Good
we are
morning.
still fighting. We are still fighting.
Oh, I don't mind.
You don't mind?
That's one less friend to worry about.
That's fine. That's actually very.
No, I took him aback.
No, I was not taking her back. I was not taking her back. No, that's okay. That's okay. You know, when power is near, when people can smell power, they start to forget about their old friends. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Which power is near?
Oh, it's fine.
As for power, it can turn any day. That's the amazing thing about power. I just hope that as Democrats, we uphold the principles and values of democracy and allow rule of law, allow respect for each and everyone, allow social justice to reign in the country, so that when everybody is okay, not comfortable, because you never get everybody comfortable. When everybody is okay, things like what is happening in Mali will not arise. I think that the recent happenings over the last few days is quite interesting. What the Ecowas bloc is actually trying to do is to deny Mali of resources, so that when the people don't have rice to eat, milk to drink coffee, they don't have wheat for bread, then there'll start to be internal agitations against the military juncture, and then there will be probably another counter revolution to get rid of the military government. This is very typical of warfare strategy. And the posturing of the Mali administration is also typical of a typical response to that kind of strategy. Withdraw your ambassadors from all those countries, which means that we're no longer friends at the moment. Go your way, I go my way, and close down all the borders, which means Mali now is closing in. So whatever resources Mali has within the country is what they're going to be heavily dependent on. The ECOWAS sanction says they are withdrawing commerce support, they are withdrawing financial aid, which means that money is flowing into the sub-region for Mali will be withheld. And as I said, it's typical of warfare strategy to withhold resources from. Well, that solves the issues in Mali. That's the thing, because at the end of the day, the only thing that is going to address the challenges in Mali is dialogue. If the Malian junta makes a proposal that they need another 6 to 5 years, 6 months to 5 years, to organize a new election, I think that the onus is on ECOWAS to demand what exactly they intend to do within their 6 to 5 years, that they could not have done and maintained the original election timetable, which was meant for February this year. Whatever you were not able to do this time, I doubt that you'll be able to do within 6 to 5 years. It's also typical of military junctures when they taste power. Is that very often they like to hold on to that power, but what they saw in the barracks versus what they see in the palace are two different things. And that's the beauty of power. That is, even currently in Ghana, with our current president, the life he knew prior to becoming president and the life he's living now as president were two different things. But when you come into power, the ability to give big contracts, the financial rewards, the privileges, all these things can blind you to fill you with a certain hunger to always want more.
Business and
so everything that has happened, as I said, is quite typical of the situation that we find ourselves. But the solution is to go back to the table and dialogue. Because
economic
I don't
times.
see how Ecowas can think that a country like Mali, when you pull down their commerce and financial, I mean, yes, it will make an impact on the economy, but these are Sahelian people.
I'm wondering if they even trade with...
They are nomads. Yeah. You know, their whole lifestyle is quite...
nomadic.
Nomadic. And it's their culture.
And there's more of informal trade even than formal
yes.
trade, so...
You know, yes. and in any case, you see, in the sub-region, our borders are so porous that you say you deny them aid, but there are other black market activities that can get them the aid. They can decide to pass it through the northern part of Africa, and they'll have support from that end. Because don't forget that there are people who are heads of states in North African countries who also came into revolutions. Like I'm talking about the Egyptian situation, for example. So they will probably find support from some of these other countries. The solution is dialogue. Go back to the table. Demand of them the timetable. Ensure that they go by the timetable. Sanctions are good, as I said, to deny them resources, but the process to get the people to react may take much longer. But I think it's interesting what is going on. It tells you that Ecowas probably is not a sleeping dog as they are made out to be, and that they can also respond to certain situations.
Right. Thank you, Gabriela. Let's now come back home and deal with some domestic stories here. 7% salary increment. Public workers disappointed, threatening industrial action. It appears this year a lot of the public sector workers are not joking at all. UTAG has embarked on a strike action, and other public sector workers are also very disappointed by reason of the salary increment, which is just that's just 7%. They've threatened an industrial action. That's by Economic Times. Now, if you look at the 7% vis-a-vis the current economic labyrinth, then it stands to only reason that this 7% increment will not be able to address the challenges of the people. So clearly, one would want to believe that their demand is in order. Their demand is in order. Let me start with you, Gabriela, on this particular issue. 7% salary increment. Public sector workers or public workers are disappointed. They are threatening a strike action.
Times are difficult for almost everybody. Last year, they had a 4% increment when government appointees were enjoying almost 60% increment. Remember last year that even the first lady, the second lady, were also added to the monument to also see how they could also benefit from the largest of states. Mm-hmm. Yesterday on your show, I did a short contribution on what I really think ought to happen within the public services. And I think that, you see, there are too many disparities within the public sector wage bill. And this cuts across all public sector workers, not just the civil service. If you go to the public service, the agencies especially, salary levels are so high and you compare it to their peers in the civil service, and their pay levels are quite low. With the same qualification, same experience, but the disparities exist. Public sector service different, civil service different. You come into what they call the 71 holders, and everybody wants to point their hands, their fingers at the end.
Now, hold on. Let me just go for this quick commercial break. Respectfully, we'll come back to you. I think we're having a little challenge with your sound. Quick commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Hello, information.
Madam,
Me, I have still not got the money for that list of expensive building materials you sent to me. The price of the iron rods have been increased too much, added.
madam, relax. Look, that's not why I did call you. I just visited IPCP, where the engineers told me everything about Trasacco fast floor.
Trahuanko, please, those people are expensive. Are they not the people building those big houses in town? I beg, go and
Madam, in fact, I used to think the same until I visited their office today, and they gave me an estimate of how much it will cost. No, the estimate is free. It's cheaper than the one I even sent you.
Wow.
Building contractors, foremen, masons. Visit IPCP, the Trasacco Fast Floor. Engineers will assist you build an affordable, faster, and stronger building.
Oh, madam, it is done.
Wow. Oh, Jesus.
Trasacco Fast Floor, stronger, faster, and affordable.
This is a Trasacco construction product.
Every day he looks after his brother and chases a bus. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, and learns new things. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, and gets back home. Every day he looks after his brother, chases a bus, learns new things, gets back home, and helps his mom. Phew. That's why every day he needs his cup of Milo filled with the nutritious goodness of malt, milk, and cocoa. Milo, the energy to go further.
From Nestle.
This advert is...
it's incredible. Bang on target.
Hello, information.
Madam.
Me, I have still not got the money for that list of expensive building materials you sent to me. The price of the iron rods have been increased too much, had I?
Madam, relax. Look, that's not why I did call. I just visited IPCP, where the engineers told me everything about Trasacco fast floor.
Trahuako, please, those people are expensive. Are they not the people building those big houses in town? I beg, don't catch that guy.
Madam, in fact, I used to think the same.
From that quick commercial break, apologies to you. We had a little challenge with Gabriela's sound. Gabby, please.
Yeah, so a lot of people point fingers at the MPs because they are the ones who are closest to the people and Article 71. So everybody hears as Gratian and MP. Say, and MP Amomoka, no interest, and the MP say. But when you come into the ecosystem of Article 71, all the arms of government are members of Article 71. The executive, the judiciary, the legislature. You have people within the public service and civil service who are leading institutions, and the list is in the constitution. Who are there collecting the salary levels of people in the executive, legislature, and the judiciary, and have been in those positions for years. So a government comes, a government goes, and then what you will call a government are actually typical politicians. They come, they go within 4 years, they are out of, they are recycled. Even within the government that stays on 8 years, the members of that government, majority of them are still recycled. And another crop will come, and they will go off. But everybody points their fingers at Article 71 because they are the ones that are in the face of the public. So there are all these issues within the bigger public sector payroll system. And I actually think that there needs to be a comprehensive review of the salary structure within the entire service to create to enable social justice and fairness and equity within the public sector pay system. Because I don't see how an officer with a master's as senior officer in a public service can take home about 5,000, 6,000, and that's base pay minus all the other conditions attached to it. And then you come to the civil service or the security agencies, and somebody with the same qualification, same years of experience, is taken under 3,000. The issues that the lecturers were raising, UTAG have been raising about their salary, is also in line with the same issue that they are confronted with. So you see somebody goes and educates themselves to PhD level to come and teach in the public school, and then after all that investment, all that effort, all that time, you compare their remuneration to somebody who has less that qualification, less that experience, less that exposure, and is taken higher. So there's quite a bit of unfairness within the system, and all these pay policies need to be rationalized together and really looked at again. I also think that cost of living generally keeps increasing. Now, the government in particular likes to put the blame on COVID. COVID has disrupted a lot of economies, but it is not an excuse to impose further hardships on people. Government says they need revenue. We admit that you need revenue to run the economy of Ghana. It is not the case that you do not have any revenue at all, because the revenue flow units that you've had since 2017 to 2021 that you've expanded on are still there. I don't know where exactly, apart from giving tax exemptions to their colleagues and friends, I don't know where exactly they've given any better reductions to the good people of Ghana. Every other arena, every other area, there's been increases. Increase in fuel, increase in utilities. They keep increasing their taxes, introducing 1% here, 2% there, 5% here, 10% here. Now they don't want to even tax our mobile money. And then also the reductions in the reversal of the reductions in benchmark values. We understand that times are difficult generally within the bigger economy. We understand that you, as at last year alone, you had almost 300 billion in inflows, all sectors, last year. We understand that you have things that you want to do, but even with what you have had before, we've still not been able to see exactly what you've utilized those monies for. So Kwame, the people of Ghana cannot be held to ransom for government's inability to manage the economy properly. And you don't have to come and burden the people with more hardship just because of that. Government should go back and cut. There's a preaching I listened to once. That's I think Madam Christido Tete. And she said that very often the adage goes that cut your coat according to your size. But sometimes your size can fool you. So you cut your coat according to your material. So government ought to cut their coat according to the material that they have currently and not impose further hardships on people. I was listening to the General Secretary. We know that from last year, government was able to mobilize almost 300 billion for their activities, paying public sector workers and the projects and programs that they've earmarked in their agenda for jobs and what's your medium-term program even called? An agenda for jobs, creating prosperity for all. Coming into a new fiscal year, 2022, we believe that if you were able to get 300 billion into your kitty last year, that quantum of money, or reasonably around that quantum of money, can be equally generated for this year.
Right.
We also believe that if you made me jump, so I'm not getting confused. Let me go back to what I was saying. I was listening to the General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, the newly elected one, and he was saying that when you compare how much they earned 10 years ago and what they could do with that quantum of money, and how much they earn today and what they can do with that same quantum of money, you can see that they are worse off today than they were 10 years ago. I believe that for labor, nobody wants to retrogress in life. Everybody wants to see themselves move forward. So if there are increments all across various sectors in the economy, increase in fuel, 15% charges across board, new government fees, reduction in benchmark values, and all these are going to have increments in prices generally. Then at least look at these increases and strike a fair balance and give labor better than the 7%. The second thing I'm saying is that government need to rationalize their expenditure. There's no reason why you should keep imposing hardships and difficulties on people. And thirdly, in relation to the second point, there are too many extravagant expenses and wastage in the system. I was listening to a news item that was saying that the presidential jet was sent on family errands for children of the leader to go shopping and all that. I think that some of these wastages, we need to cut down on it. The number of convoy for presidential travels ought to be streamlined. Even government appointees, too many people on the publicity need to be drawn down. These people, you don't even know what exactly it is that they do, except job for the boys, for them to also come and benefit from the fact that they went campaigning for a government. Our dear brother Saka here has been campaigning for over 20 years for NPP, and up to now he's still not been rewarded. That was, by the way, don't say anything. So those are my three key things. We need to cut down the wastage, cut down on these convoys. There's no reason why every 4 years we have to go and buy an entire new fleet of V8, over 600 vehicles, just because we want the presidency to always look posh and flashy. This kind of lifestyles, I don't understand it. It's wastage. Because V8 should be able to last you minimum 10 years. That's the quality of vehicle you are buying.
Good suggestions. But from what you see, do you think government is willing to listen? And I'm asking.
But that's the thing with power. It's that's what I'm saying about the Mali regime. That when they are in opposition, they think different. And when they come to power, the largesse of power and the privileges and things makes people forget and start doing things irrationally.
I'm asking this question because yesterday when I spoke to a representative of UTAC, they said that they had originally initially engaged government, regarding their situation and things like that, and the fact that the government needed to fulfill its part of the obligation, which obligation was agreed to, I think, in 2013
yes,
or so, right?
2012.
2013, they said 2013.
Okay.
But government made promises upon promises upon promises, and even when they threatened the strike action, nothing had been said back. I don't know whether government has responded, but clearly, from where they sit,
they are
it appears that
to Labour Commission because it appears that they could not make any headway with Fair Wages Commission.
Yeah, so
Labour Commission has.
So it appears that the state is not listening. That's why I'm asking that all these things that you're talking about.
That's typical of this government. That is the problem of this government. And I find it a very arrogant posture. They should take him as one of their spokespersons to be helping them. When this issue of even the benchmark values became a topical issue, I was following keenly the Ghanaian media. And instead of government representatives coming to defend government industrial policy, they have left the battle for Guta versus AGI. When we know very well that the AGI is unable to produce to the capacity that Guta is importing. And then we've deliberately set them on a head-to-head agenda, and government is sitting down quietly and just watching as if they haven't called us into this arena. So let's just be quiet and then let them go. And
but that's politics. That's what you said. That's politics.
But that is the problem.
Yeah.
Because I was not happy at all. I was not happy at all. Because you see, we have leadership failure in this country. If since the coming into force of this 1992 constitution and what we credit ourselves with this whole democratic experiment as a country, we have so many comparative advantages we can take care of. Textbook theorists will sit and we can point all the great policies that government has put down on paper to be able to achieve this agenda. Up to date, tell me, which sector does Ghana have comparative advantage that they have actually done something in? Tell me. Tomatoes, benchmark values on tomatoes, and yet the tomato is coming from Burkina, the concentrate is coming from China, and the paste is coming from Italy. Can Ghana be able to produce tomato paste even half of what is demanded on the local market? No. So when you set AGI against Guta, there's no way AGI is going to win that battle in the eyes of the Ghanaian consumer, because for them exactly, and that's something must be government's defense of their industrial policy.
Absolutely, because government said that it was going to move us from taxation to production.
Yes,
so clearly.
And then even when they revert their benchmark values, and you expect them to defend their industrial policy, they are nowhere to be found in the conversation, and that's the point I'm making. Their posturing is just awful. It is wrong. It's marks of arrogance and people who don't know what they are about. They are just good at talking.
Is it also because we, and I'm saying that we as Ghanaians and as journalists and whatever, have failed to ask
you
the right
have
questions?
kept asking, you've been asking the right questions. Government should be showing us after how many years have we been in this democracy? So this fourth Republican thing. Over 20 years. After 20 years, all governments, I'm holding the NDC equally responsible, should tell us which sectors we've been able to develop, and then we've now have the comparative advantage to produce anything. Look, we signed up onto AFTA, and the challenge with AFTA is that when you open up your economy to free trade, your goods are going to compete with products from Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Egypt, Morocco, Kenya, Ethiopia. So if we do not position the Ghanaian industrial sector well, we'll be flooded with made in other African country goods. Okay. The jobs will not be created because like Guta, we will all become traders.
Absolutely.
And where are the jobs when you are doing trading?
Let's go back to the 7% salary increment. Now, the argument has been, and this may be a lame, this may just well be a lame argument or question that I'm about to ask. It may well be. But the question has also been that if you look at the public sector employees, oftentimes we do know how much most of them earn, 1,000, 5,000, 2,000, and things like that.
And that's the point I was making.
But then you realize that when you actually go into the account, the amount of money, most of them.
Not all of them.
I'm not saying all
You'll be
of them.
surprised.
I'm not saying all of them.
That's
that's what I'm saying. It may probably be. Now, you need to listen to me.
Corruption.
That's what I was going to. So you need to listen to me.
It exists because there's corruption.
We can have a better conversation. Because I'm saying this, I'm saying this because it is clear, in some respect, that you'd find some of these people working in that space owning mansions and things. You pause to wonder. Of them. You pause to wonder. Well, you want to use some. I'm using most.
It is some. Because I also know some who are struggling.
Yes, but that's why I didn't say all of them.
And it depends on the ministry you are.
Yes.
Because if you go put somebody...
Yeah, so it depends on the ministry. Absolutely. You understand what I'm saying? So is it... my question really is that when we are able to address the salary issues, are we saying that we would have addressed the issue of corruption? Are we saying that... You understand what I'm saying? Because the issue is that, we don't earn much.
The issues with corruption, the fact that you don't earn much is not an excuse for you to export from anybody.
But we know what happens.
The issues with corruption, again, in this country, we have IOCO, Financial Intelligence Center,
and it should be at
Bank of Ghana. We now have special prosecutor. We have auditor general. We have CID.
Yeah.
We have so many institutions that can address corruption. It was the first. There are so many institutions we've created that can arrest corruption. Is it working? Government will tell you that this is the first time that we've pumped so much money into these institutions. Are they working? First of all, the people who are heading these organizations, how are they recruited into leadership? Are they really independent and autonomous? No. If you go into the history of who the special prosecutor is, you find where his leanings align to. And that is why some of these institutions, Gabriela personally, if I had my way, the recruitment of these institutions, your background check, you shouldn't even belong to a family that has one single person with the party political card. It will not be difficult. They exist. It will not be difficult. Okay. Those people exist.
All right.
So to address that issue, there are institutions that must fight corruption, and those institutions have to work. They must be made to work. Leadership is everything, cause and effect. You want any other alternative, you know what the alternative is.
Thank you.
Change your government and find somebody who is willing to address the issues of corruption.
Very well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you, Gabriela Tete, for that submission. Let me say a special good morning to my friend and brother, my schoolmate, Albino. Everybody knows him as Albino. Good morning to you, Albino. You are watching us. And also good morning to Torreson Naomi Portino. No, it's not Albino, it's Abino. Abino. Torreson Naomi Portino. You are also watching us from Kumasi. Good morning to you this morning. And Honorable Rashid Purple, good morning to you. Hajia Sarah Garbasta, you are all watching. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Hanan Abdul Wahab, my very, very good friend, CEO of Buffer Stock, and also Samia Uku. I know that you sometimes you watch me small, but you don't want to say it. And good morning to Basit as well. And Napo. Yes, Napo. Good morning to Napo. Napo. Yeah, Napo, how are you? Yeah. But I like him. When I sent him a message, he responded. He's a good guy. Anyway, Hadia, let me hear from you on this subject matter. This 7%
because
issue.
Gabriela has gone to Morocco, come back to Gambia.
Yeah. But it's good, actually good. She found a way of bringing, looking
Gabriela,
at it.
No, she missed some times.
Yeah.
See, so she has to cover all. Jab Saka.
Saka.
Saka,
Yeah.
that he's not listening to us today. You see, Kwame.
Yes, my boss.
This country, we are not being honest and sincere with ourselves. Gabriela spoke as if she, I don't know whether she picked certain news from the Nkrumah's teaching, because she spoke about social justice, you know. And I don't feel it in this country. Because you have a situation whereby goods and services, should I say, have escalated, skyrocketing. And then we are all working as Ghanaians. They say public service, civil service, co-minini. But if you look at the salary structures of all these people, where is the fairness in it? Where is the fairness? And then people will start pointing to fingers at politicians and blah, blah. Go to the ministries, departments, and agencies and see the salary people are taking. As Gabriela said, somebody will go read and become a doctor with PhD, teaching in Legon or maybe any other institution. The salary he or she is taking is not like somebody who has been appointed by a politician to head, maybe to be a CEO or something. It is not fair. That is why one of them said that the NTMY report was saying that they should all be captured under the Article 71. Why? Because the Article 71 people are the people who are enjoying everything. And can you imagine all public and civil service put under Article 71? Can you imagine? It will be a big challenge to this country because we don't have that purse to pay all those people when we put them on that. So what do we do for them? We give them salaries that will take them home. Salaries that will inure to their benefit, that will also help their family. Because for crying out loud, the people that are being given this 7% are also Ghanaians. They go to the same market with all the people who are getting this high checks at the end of the month. We are not producing anything in this country. So everything is very costly. Maybe you have the purse to go and buy these tin tomatoes at this price. But what about the one who has been given the 7% increments? It's a shame. Can you imagine when we're promised from taxation to production,
yeah.
If we have been able to produce, industrialize like the way Nkrumah wanted to do in this country, only for him to be overthrown and people were deceived that you should lay down all your workers in the factories. How can we do that? A country that wants to progress doesn't go that way. That is the problem of this country. We left our core values and mandate and decided to shift and listen to the IMF and World Bank. That is what has brought us there. Can you imagine if we are producing tomatoes by ourselves, toothpaste, everything, and then the local industry are giving some tax exemptions to be able to produce in such a way that their goods and services will not be so high Now that we have signed into charters and conventions that we allow inferior goods to come and compete with the local goods, it's difficult. If you look at the Ghanaian goods, they are more quality than those chan that they are bringing in this country. So for me, I think we have to look at this whole salary structure again. We are saying about, is it 900 and something 1,000 Ghanaians are the only people who are being taxed, and then most of the monies that the government gets uses for salaries and which is salaries. I'll stop there. The emoluments, whom are they giving it to? Whom are they giving it to? It's not a few that are enjoying. So I think we should, if we are practicing democracy, we should also learn from the practice of other advanced democracies, what they are doing. In Britain, in America, do they give free bungalows to ministers of states and MPs? No. There's a country where they give even flat. If you have a visitor and that visitor comes to stay in there, the visitor will pay. Which means the system is what? Working. But if I have a position today, my daughter will be there, my distant will be there, all trying to squeeze, and even a family member being a gardener so that he or she will enjoy that. I think we are over-pampering certain group of people in this country to the detriment of the larger population. We should look at that. 7%. 7%. And that will effect from, is it 17th of this month? Yeah. Lorry fares, transportation fares are going to be up by 40%. Now, if you even give 7% increment, and then maybe all those working around the ministries and what have you, know that when I wake up in the morning, there's a cheap transportation to wherever I'm going, I'm not sure people will complain. But they are joining the public trotros and what have you, the taxis, the Ubers, to their workplaces. So I think, Kwame, until we go the Kwame Nkrumah way, Ghana will continue to mark time. Unless we go the Kwame Nkrumah way. Because if you look at even the 1D1F the MPP are talking about, look at most of the factories that Nkrumah built. Look at silos that are in the bushes. Why don't we even revamp the whole thing? Even say, oh, Ghanaians, how many of you can bring Palgo tomato factory back to life? One, Zwarongo, Abuazi glass factory. Name them, Kumasi, all. Do you think Ghanaians will not go for it? Maybe operate this thing for 10 years and employ these people. Do you think Ghanaians will not do it? They'll do it. They'll do it. When Adam Abaro wanted money to fix the roads in Bonju, and then he wrote to the IMF and World Bank and they were delaying, he raised the one by 4%. 4%. He was able to raise the money to do it. Do you think there's no money in this country? There's money. But people want to be sure whether maybe if I put my money here, no body will come and tell me why this or that. Because if you look at the Palgo tomato, no, not Palgo, the Zwarongo factory, the Zwarongo people are still maintaining it, buying oil every time to go and make sure the machines. People might say those machines are obsolete. But we can do something about it because the building is still there. It's a government building. Look at opposite near the Sawaba Junction in Kumasi, pencil factory. It's there. When we had out, is it 71 or 70th birthday? That was where we went and celebrated our CPP. We cannot revamp that place and then manufacture, produce pencils for our people. Go to the market and look at where all the pencils are coming from. Why are we behaving as if we are not a country of people who can think? So many things that you can say. They are there. That can create jobs for people, because most of the people in this country, their grown children still depend on them. Do you know that? Because they are not working. They are not working. You see? Even some of them, if they are working, because the pay cannot take them home, parents still have to give them money for transportation. You pay school fees, and somebody says, I'll pay school fees. So I'm not getting anything from the investment I have put in my. So I think the 7%, government should look at it again. And we should cut down on wastes. We should tighten all the loose ends. Because I know if we do the right thing as a country, we'll be able to raise money internally, because the debt profile is a bit frightening.
Very frightening.
It's a bit frightening. If we're not careful, we will be taken by events. The other day, somebody made a joke on social media that, is it Tanzania or is it Uganda or China, 300 and something, and they took over their airport.
That's Zambia.
That's Zambia. And then Ghana owes it something, 3-point-something billion. But this further checks, it's just a propaganda or something. Because if you owe some people and you've given them some aspect to operate and then be getting their money, you went for the loan. And then if you don't have a way to pay, then that will befall you. I think Ghana, we should be careful. Because if workers are not happy, the system will not run smoothly. I'm not saying if workers say 40% or 50%, government should give them 40%. This 7% had to do with labor, isn't it? Does it affect other system? Now this week, UTAG are on strike. And then other group 2 are saying they are going on strike on the 17th or something. Who is in charge of dealing with issues like this? Minister of Labor, isn't it? And probably, what's the designation now? Because they keep on changing, so I don't even know it. In labor relation. So what is Honorable Ignatius Bafo were doing? Because you don't have to sit idle. Look, I saw this one by, is it Professor Jampo, that they are tired of meetings from 2014 to 2022 because they don't eat or drink meetings. So which means it has gotten to a stage that they are fed up. And we shouldn't have this in this country. One, COVID has devastated the whole world. Fine, Ghana is affected. And people have lost jobs because of COVID. People have lost relationships because of COVID. So we shouldn't be added more worries by giving us something that might not help all of us. So I think government should look at it. Right. And then I will plead with a special UTAG. Oh, we'll come to that topic.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do we have that? Yes, we
have
that.
So
let me read a few messages, and then I'll come to Sakasalia on this subject matter. Ibrahim Ball says, "Hi, good morning, KOD. I'm watching you live from Hillsborough, New Jersey." Ayi Farouk says, "Good morning. He's watching us from Tamale North." Musa Abattoir, government is still struggling to justify e-levy policy. It tells you that the policy is not well thought through and it's inimical to the larger interest of Ghanaians. Therefore, we are not going to accept it today or tomorrow. Hashtag drop e-levy. For today, Aboni, I hope I got it right. Kwame, the killer e-levy will collapse the Momo business and destroy agenda of cashless society, but encourage armed robberies in Ghana. So the earlier we kill it, the better for us all. Prince Kwame Annan says, good morning to you. Why are we limiting the fight for only NDC MPs and not NPP MPs? Do their constituents agree with the position they hold? I pity those who support this blindly. Why should my money in my account be taxed? What a useless policy. Bilal Yusuf says he's watching us from Kumasi. Alinka Williams says, you can't take away the 4% implemented in 2021 and implement 7% in 2022. And you want us to believe that you have increased salaries by 7% instead of telling us the truth that it is 4% and 3% respectively. The minister didn't mince words when he indicated that the 4% will not exist in 2022. A lie may take care of the present but has no future. The cardinal sin is increasing Article 71 holders' salary by 70%. and the one who gives you the money by 7%. What a mockery. UTAC should strike and strike again and again until all money due them are paid. It is only a fool's testicles that they can only step, that are stepped twice. From Alinka Williams. Richard Allah says, good morning to you. Akufo-Addo is confused. He needs to listen to the people who put them in office. Majority of Ghanaians are suffering. They don't like this senseless e-levy taxes, which doesn't make sense and it's ridiculous. These are messages received on Facebook. You can also send us your messages on Facebook. I will read them here. Let me come to you now, Saka Salia.
Yeah, thank you very much, Governor. Before I start, let me take this opportunity to rebut some of the distortion that Gabriela put here. It looks as if maybe I don't know what she has taken this morning. She started by saying that first ladies have been put on Article 71. She's not running away from what she said.
I said the time when you increase salaries for Article 71 holders by over 60%, and then you even added the first and second lady.
So you let me talk. Even your clarification made it even worse. You have not clarified anything. You have succeeded in even distorting it more. First of all, before I even start, can you let me talk? When you were talking, I kept quiet. I could have interjected. I could have interjected seriously. But I'm saying that first of all, first ladies have not been added to article. We did not even attempt to even add them. I will explain. Unless you are not in Ghana.
Explain.
Yes, unless you are not in Ghana. There was no even an attempt to even add first ladies to the Article 71.
So if that was
let me talk? I mean, what is happening? What is happening in this country?
If they were not added, why did they have to refund the money?
What is happening here?
Did they not refund?
So I'm saying what happened was that as part of the emolument of the No, I will make it clear. I'm coming. I will make it clear.
Don't come along.
Because I will allow you to come and sit here and distort
and
issues.
I also will not sit here and allow you.
So what, you whatever, go and sit somewhere and allow me. What happened was that as part of the emolument of the president and the vice president, they were going to ensure that the first ladies were part of their emolument. But the first lady came out, not the Article 71, but the part of the emolument of the president and the vice. That's like,
it's cast in Article
71. Can you let me finish? So, for instance, currently, Kwame, you should be able to, you are just sitting down, you are not talking to her.
Proceed.
Yeah. For instance, we have gardeners, we have drivers.
They are not
yes.
Proceed.
So you know that they are not Article 71. But you wanted to say that the first lady and then the second lady were going to put in out. I am saying.
How do you compare the office of a first and second lady to the office of a gardener and a driver?
That is the reason why. That is the reason why you should listen to me. That is the reason why you should listen to me. That is the reason why you should listen to me. That is the reason why. That is the reason why you should listen to me to understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you John Dramani Mahama currently as he is as the former president of Ghana, people like Felix Ofosu-Kwakye and co are enjoying from age to the former president, but they are not Article 71 office holders. The driver is part of the beneficiaries of John Dramani Mahama. The gardener also benefit from the Article 71 of John Dramani Mahama, but they are not Article 71 office holders. That's what I'm saying. So it is simple thing. If you don't understand, if you did not understand, and you still don't understand, and you come and sit here and try to pollute the atmosphere, I'll correct you. Secondly, can you let me? Secondly,
yeah, exactly.
You don't even know that the benchmark values the president have asked that we should suspend it. But you sat here. Please, don't say to 17 January. The president have come out to say that we should suspend the implementation of the benchmark value withdrawal that we intended doing. And therefore, if you sit here and then use it as part of your analysis, and that things are hard, and then benchmark values, and then Ghana is going to be more high. You see, then you mean that you don't know what is happening. I am saying that there is no going to be withdrawal of those benchmark values anymore. Secondly, thirdly,
said it is the
please, can you let me talk?
After the
can you let me talk?
Gabby, I'll let you.
You also sat here and said that, the president.
That's okay, you need to move to.
Yeah, I'll move.
Because,
but I mean, those distortions must be cleared.
But it's part of your time.
Don't worry, it is my time. He said that the president shouldn't use jets. He sat here and peddled those falsehoods. Even that was the news. When even the person that made this falsehood himself have come out to apologize unreservedly for the misinformation that he peddled. So is it everything that is in the news that you have to come here and then peddle? The person lied through his teeth, and he himself has come out to say that he is apologizing, and we said that we have to prosecute him for lying, because the Electronic Communication Act stipulates that if you use the electronic means to lie, knowing very well that what you are using is a lie and causing fear and panic in society, you have to be prosecuted. It is there. The law is clear. So if you are also sitting here and then goading him on and then also peddling lie, falsehood, you will be prosecuted alongside him. You see?
On so many online platforms. That was the case. So please.
You remember some time ago when I went to TV3 and I said that we should cope with government with this 4% agitation that organized labor was talking about. And then they came out to say that I said that they were lazy and all manner of things. People put words in my mouth, peddled by this falsehood was peddled by the NDC Loud Silent group. And then everybody took it and said that I said that, they were lazy and all that. What I said then was that if you look at the globally, I mean, we all know, unless you want to play the ostrich, to say that, you don't know what is happening and all that. Globally, global supply chain has been disrupted. There is increment, there is inflation all over the world. Countries have been locked down. Airports have closed. Hotels have closed. Workers have been laid off. Almost invariably, all countries. To the extent that certain countries are laying off workers. There is this report I read, the Global Wage Report 2020-2021, where they even said that a lot of countries, about 40 different countries, have laid off workers. And workers themselves have agreed that they were going to reduce their salaries for the period of the COVID. If not, they were going to be laid off and all that. So we are not in normal times. And when we say it in Ghana here, people think that, everything you say COVID, everything you say COVID. Insofar as COVID still continue to devastate us, not only our lives, but our livelihood, we will be talking about it. Don't tell me that when I come here and then there is issue with inflation, there is issue of unemployment, we should not talk about COVID. Because, I mean, there are reports severally all over the world about the devastating effect economically, not even the lives of COVID. And if you go and look at the report, I'm saying Global Wage Report 2020-2021.
When you make this COVID argument, sometimes I find it very strange. In as much as I agree with you, the devastating nature of COVID, prior to COVID, we had already borrowed so much. So if you now want to use COVID as an example, particularly when we're giving,
are we talking about borrowing?
A lot of.
Are we talking about? And what do you mean by borrowing so much? What is the yardstick?
Yeah, but
what is the yardstick to say that we are borrowing so much?
Prior to COVID, how much have you borrowed as a government?
How much have we borrowed?
Yes, prior to COVID.
How much have we borrowed?
Yes, and then from COVID till now, how much have you borrowed? Compare.
No, I can't tell you prior to COVID. You should tell me.
Before COVID, I'm telling you,
making the allegation.
Before COVID, you have borrowed so much.
So much is how much? How much is so much?
Well, within a region of, I think, 200 something.
So is that so much?
Dollars.
So let's even take it 200 billion. Is it so much?
That is not so much.
How
between the time that
there is nothing so much.
Between the time that you borrow
in economics, there is nothing like so much.
What have you?
There's so much.
What did you use those monies?
There is nothing like so much. Because countries have borrowed.
And that is why you are still borrowing with impunity, because you don't find it. You don't find it.
There is nothing like so much. It will only be so much if you.
It's a reckless way of managing a country.
It will only be so much if you pitch it against your GDP. Countries, if you go to USA,
you borrow for
their debt to GDP is over 100.
Yeah, but at least the
100%.
Yeah, but
we are hovering around 76, 77.
But they use their money.
And then you call it so much.
At what percentage you borrow? At what percentage you borrow? At what percentage
are you talking about? What are you talking about?
At what percentage you borrow?
No, we don't borrow. There is no fixed percentage that we borrow, because we don't borrow from the single source. We borrow from multilateral, we borrow from
all those
bilateral,
what is their percentage?
And we borrow from the money market.
Percentage. What's their percentage?
So the percentage differs from.
How about
the percentages differ from one platform to the other? So don't tell me what is the percentage.
Because you don't negotiate, because you just need the money. You go and take the money.
No.
So you don't care about the percentage.
Which percentage do you know?
Sometimes you even
sometimes
25%.
Where?
Well, the last the Eurobond the last Eurobond that was issued. How much?
Eurobond 25%.
What was the percentage?
No, tell me.
What was the percentage? I'm telling you.
Don't tell me. No. Don't go there. Don't go where you don't know. Come on. But you don't go.
What do you mean by why?
Don't go there.
What do you mean by why?
Don't go there. The coupon value.
What was the value?
Is not anywhere even near. It was 9 point something percent. Don't go. It's not 25%. I'm coming. Don't go there. Don't go there.
It's not true.
I'm saying, you see, the borrowing argument will come. But let me deal with the salaries something. You see, you sit here and create the impression, because this salary distortion and everything that we talk about is caused by the recklessness of the NDC. And sometimes I wonder, even when the UTAG people, when they are talking, I wonder why they wouldn't make that point clear. Because the salary distortion and everything that we talk about, it was as a result of the fact that we had distortion and all that, and then we decided that we have to do the single spine salary structure, so that it will bridge all those things. Now the single the single structure, the single spine took about 6 or so years to come to fruition.
Yeah.
Now we had what we call the market premium, because the market premium was used as the base, or was used to give to institutions, or institutions based on their what do you call it, the risk involved in their work and all that. Now, because the implementation of the single spine was left with the NDC to implement, because the MPP did it, and we gave a year that it was supposed to start 2009. The NDC came to power and then deferred it to 2010. When they deferred it, because the implementation was so haphazardly done, to the extent that they use it as politics, then everybody was running to get their market premium. Even people who did not deserve market premium, everybody was clamoring for market premium, even though there was no any risk involved in their work and all that. Now, the same NDC people suspended the market premium in 2013. When UTAG was talking the last time, they said that if they had allowed the market premium to continue, by now, their base pay would not have been as low as it is today. But the NDC suspended the market premium and said that they were going to labor market survey. The labor market survey actually took, for the period of the NDC, they never came out with a report. It is under the period of the NPP that we came out with the labor market report in 2019. And that is what is to be implemented. And that is the reason why some of these UTAC people are going on strike. We talk about 4%. And even the reason why, one of the reasons for the UTAC going on strike was that they said that their professional development allowance is so small. As professional development, that is 1,500. They refer to it as being small. Meanwhile, this government is a government that came, and you know the increment that we did. Under the NDC, it was 500 Ghana cedis. For the period, the 8-year period of the NDC, they were paying these lecturers 500 Ghana cedis a year. And even that one, it was on arrears. In arrears. The NPP government came, 200% increase. And then these same people are saying that it is too small. You see, sometimes, I don't get them. At least, we are not saying that it is big or it is okay. We all know. We all know. What current condition? So this condition did not exist. Whatever condition that exists today existed under the NDC. And even worse form. And then they will be paid 500 Ghana cedis. 1,500 might not be the desired amount that we want to give to the lecturers. But at least we are moving forward. At least we have shown, the government has shown readiness to ensure that they meet the lecturers.
How much did you say they earn? 1,500.
1,500, not their salary. I mean the professional development allowance for the reason why they said they were going on strike also. No, they are going on strike.
They said there was an agreement in 2013 that they were going to be giving 2,080. The
agreement was that they suspended the market premium, and then they gave them some amount and they based on that amount.
I mean, because they said that the $2,080 or so was supposed to be the base rate.
It was going to be constant.
Yes. Yeah, for new entries or something like that.
Is it 2,000?
Yeah.
$2,080. This is a technical issue that they themselves and then the labor fair wages can actually explain.
Absolutely.
But what I'm saying is that whatever it is, whatever the situation is, you don't come calling this government and creating the impression this government is not meeting your aspirations. At least this government has proven that they are far better than the previous government when it comes to your welfare. And the same with these salaries. I've started by telling you how the global effect of COVID has been, where countries have laid off workers and all that. This government says that we are not just saying that we are laying people off.
My time is up.
We are not saying that we won't increase salaries. The government started by saying that even we started with the tripartite committee, where it was agreed that 4% should be paid. But now government has moved from even the 4% to 7%.
Thank you, Saka.
Then the same people still come to say that you should do what? When government, government is you and I. Is that our sweats, our revenue, our taxes that are used to pay some of these things.
All right.
Government is looking for ways and means to ensure that they get money to pay some of this. And the same people will turn around to say that,
thank you,
don't borrow, don't borrow, don't tax the people, no e-living, nothing,
now you
but pay.
You don't sell mobile money.
I mean, how?
You don't sell mobile money, so you don't pay e-living, no problem. So 1 minute and we wrap up.
You're saying that under the NDC, maybe they brought a system that is affecting whatever is being given to the lecturers that they are complaining about. But what I read in the papers is that is from 2014.
2014, yes.
2014. So if really...
What happened? They said 2014, what happened?
That the 2014 is when they were supposed to be enjoying certain things that the government has never started to concretize it. You understand? So they are tired of meetings and promises because they don't eat meetings. And so they are now waiting for government to just say that you can't get it. I get it. That they will not sit with government anymore. They will wait for government to just say that this is what we are going to do for you people.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I think that the meetings are, I think the posture shouldn't be that we are giving you enough so we cannot do it. I think
they have given them enough.
But you said to do
No,
what?
I said
That is what you said.
Even the 1,000.
You see, let me tell you.
I said,
you
cannot distort me and then go.
Nobody is distorting. What is the one? No, Hajia is the one on the floor. What do you mean by that?
No,
who is distorting
who
you?
is distorting you?
Let Hajia finish. I'll come to you. Let Hajia finish.
What I said was that.
Saka. You said to do what? Did you say or did you also to do what?
What I said.
I'm saying let Hajia finish. I'm not listening. Mute your mic. Mute Saka's mic. Mute Saka's mic. Hajia, proceed.
What
I mean is that we shouldn't take this posture, whatever it is Giorgio. We shouldn't just say that because maybe this is what we have done for you, and then we cannot go further. What is it that they are demanding? If it's feasible, if it's
have a conversation, speak to them.
That's a
say who knows our government. Who knows?
I'm
not saying you say. Yeah. I'm talking about the distortion.
Yeah, but you can't come and what I need to wait.
And somebody has come and give
Saka,
200%.
you are saying, you see, Saka, let me tell you.
Within 4 years.
Saka, you cannot bully. Saka.
You see,
what you should know is that you cannot bully any of us on this.
Kwame.
So let Adia finish and submit. I will come to you. Saka, proceed.
Kwame, there are some messages saying is the way you carry it.
Yes.
That people will be happy or sad about it. Yeah. So as a government communicator, you should know.
Tell me, I don't want to say. I'm not here to take lessons from anybody. I am saying that I'm here representing the party and no amount of any disruption by anybody.
So this is government's position.
This government position.
That you have already done enough for the teachers.
I am not saying why are you putting
you said it.
You are doing the disruption. You are doing the distortion.
Master, did you not hear him saying that they've already done enough?
Why would you give me opportunity to explain what I said?
And I said I'll come to you.
Listeners will know whether what I said.
Say what you said.
I said that somebody had come, add 200% to what you were already taking, even if it is not enough. At least the person has shown that he has you more in his heart than the previous government.
You know what?
Then you are
back what Saka said.
What posture?
Play back what Saka said. Because you yourself, you sat here and you said that you said that government has already done enough because
before use the word enough.
Gabriela, let me come to you and then we'll wrap up.
That is not going to take any lecture from anybody.
Which
means, but if somebody says something, you can interject and maybe explain to your understanding.
Communicator and those. I don't like that.
Like what?
I don't like.
Who said government communicator?
It's okay.
This is the first time I'm even mentioning government communicator.
You are the one who had an issue with Adia last week. And Adia said she didn't like that.
You said
is it not a good advice? Is it not a good advice? Don't also interrupt.
Okay, no problem. You don't want that. Yes, you don't want that advice. Nobody will advise you. Gabriela, please proceed. This is a typical MPP man. They don't want advice.
I don't want to correct 2 issues.
Which one? Which is please make sure it's not going to advise Saka because we will take it. Those 2 issues shouldn't be advising Saka.
In 2017,
I know what the language I will use.
No, in 2021. In 2021, when the issue about the first and second lady collecting ex-gratia came up, town hall, when I say town hall, I mean the people of Ghana, especially social media, was awash with disagreements on why they should be given ex-gratia. We read in the news and even saw statements issued by them that they had refunded those monies. So, Saka, when you say that they were not given anything, it is false. 2, according to Saka, they have suspended the reversal of their benchmark values. They have suspended it temporarily to the 17th of January. Reason is that so that they can ensure smooth implementation, because they realize that the importing public is in uproar over the reversal of the benchmark values, and there is serious issues in the port because of this policy. They have not suspended it indefinitely. That's the difference. Your man says they should go and continue deliberating for 1 more week. I think that will change anything.
Please don't advise Saka. We don't like advice.
So for those who have yes, especially our brother here, take time to read the news online if you're not buying newspaper.
All right, thank you very much.
So that you can educate yourself.
Thank you.
Yesterday, in my public policy assignment, we have what we call reflections, and you're supposed to take any issue of the day and share your thoughts on it. So my reflections was on the benchmark values. So I already know what your government intends to do with this thing, even before I came to sit here this morning.
Thank you.
Saka, if you will know,
I'm saying that
Saka, what time do you have? Do you have lectures today? You don't. Okay. Thank you very much, Gabriela. Saka, of late, why are you so emotional now?
Why?
If I say this, what is wrong with that? I'm telling you, and he has become too known. Thank you. Thank you, Hadia. Thank you, Saka. Thank you, Gabriela. Thank you for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name is Kwame Sunas. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.